Danger seen and unseen, there's protection all around. Under the refuge of God's wings, security is found. For there are angels watching you to keep you in all of your ways, keeping you from stumbling. So don't be afraid. God's appointed angels watching over me. Angels watching over me. Unseen hands guiding me through my storm and through my rain. Oh, healing hands holding me through the darkness of my pain. Wings of love encamp around me, so I will not fear. For I can feel their presence covering near. Nothing but angels watching over me. Angels watching over me. Angels watching over me. Watching over me. Watching over me. All night, all day, angels watching over me. Be my Lord, all night and all day, angels watching over me. Holy angels sing all night and all night. Watching over me, behold the face of God. Watching over me, all night and all day, angels watching over me. Be my Lord, all night, angels watching over me. Watching over me. Angels watching over me. Angels watching over me. God needs angels watching over me. Estamos en tu presencia, Dios. Estamos. How you doing, Carol?
I'm doing okay now that I'm here.
Okay, I'm not hearing you though. I don't hear you.
Everything is
I don't hear
reversed,
Carol.
but they can hear me.
She hears me. I don't hear her. Nice colors, Carol.
So welcome to Unity in Harlem.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Carol Hunt, Minister of Unity in Harlem, and so pleased to have you join us for our service today. This is the weekend of celebrating the birth of this nation. Independence Day, 4th of July, Freedom Time. And what a difference than other years at this time. This one has parts of it that are just so unlike any other. From the usual celebrations in communities. I know in my community there was no parade. There were few flags, if any. Food, yes, but then there's always food. But the celebrations for the rest of the nation has taken on a quality that is so much different for this independence celebration. I know when I think about and have in the past, this celebration has always had a quality that I'll call a balancing act between the ideal of Independence Day, Independence Time, and the reality, the human reality for many of us. In Unity, it has helped me remember that actual freedom is a spiritual faculty or ability. And so, for me, on a personal level, as a truth student, that balancing act, while it is there, never really leaves in the awareness that freedom is innate and independence is innate. I realize that the stop and go of balance doesn't always have to be as acute for me. And so these disturbances that exist in our life and in the world of of America. Sometimes I put it in the space of what Jesus said to the Pharisees when they questioned him about the man born blind. And they had their answer, or at least their question, as to the fault of it all. And Jesus reminded them that these things are not about fault, even though we may like to put fault, put blame. That's my addition. He didn't say that. But he said they were always there for the glory of God to be revealed, the opportunity for the glory of God to be revealed. And I would say that just period of time in the pause, truly the glory of God is being revealed. Very helpful for me this Independence Day. And I hope the same for you. If not these words, other ideas that have come to you at this time. We will continue with our service, and the order is about the same. The daily word is next, which I will do. Our affirmation from Bob, the preparation for meditation and music, All Fades to God by Marie, our meditation, the talk, all about freedom. Give me liberty. Or if I don't have liberty, I get death. Our transition and our prayer request and offering and our announcements. And finally, our last song, I Release and Let Go, peace song, and a prayer protection. And so now I will share the daily word for today, Sunday, July 5th. Comfort is the word for today. Christ in me is my comfort. Experiences that move me out of my comfort zone are part of my life. The first day at a new school, starting or leaving a job, a new phase in relationship, retiring from a career, the passing of a loved one. Any change can invoke discomfort, even grief. I grieve when I think of change as loss of security, loss of my place in my community, or loss of love. The Christ, the divine presence of life, love, and wisdom within me is my constant source of comfort through all of my life changes. I find assurance that although its physical expressions may change life, life can never end. I know oneness and love with all who have been dear to me, recognizes my divine nature. I know that there is no loss, change, or circumstance that can limit me and my and I am comforted. And the scripture taken from Psalm 71:21. You will increase my honor and comfort me once again.
Isaiah 55 verse 11 says, "So shall my word be that goes out from my mouth. It shall not return to me empty, but it shall accomplish that which I purpose, and shall succeed in the thing for which I sent it." Unity affirmations speak to the power of our words, and particularly the power of I am. And so we say this affirmation every Sunday to affirm our divine nature. The words are on the screen, and I invite you to say them with me. I am an abundant, radiating center of God's love and light for peace, healing, and inner truth for all.
So this next song is by Ricky Byers. It's called "All Fades to God." Now, those times when you're wondering why things happen, but God has it all under control. Sometimes we just don't know in what way. All fades into God. In my pain, deep inside my weakness, is the seed of something greater, greater in me. And the shame of not choosing higher, all the disappointing moments fade into God, and no mistakes have been made in God. All the ways that we seem to fail, in God all fades. It all fades into God. No choice, prisoner of anguish, in a jail of I'm so lonely, a jail of all is lost, and the stars are shining to remind us, seed will make the darkness change into new light. And no mistakes have been made in God. All the ways that we seem to fail, in God all fades. It all fades into God. All fades into God. In God is the gravity that holds me together. In God is the orbit in which I am spinning. I see the stars and I remember to remember. In God, inside my pain, is the seed of my strength. In God is the gravity that holds me together. In God is the orbit in which I am spinning. I see the stars and I remember to remember. Inside my pain is the seed of my strength. God is my life. In God there's such excellence. All the ways that we seem to fail, in God all fades. It all fades into God, and no mistakes have been made in God. All the ways that we seem to fail, in God all fades. It all fades into all fades into God.
Thank you for Marie. And we can hold that thought as we prepare now for the meditation. Those things that we hold on to that sometimes disturb us, we find difficulty releasing. Let it all fade into God. And we prepare ourselves now, closing our eyes, releasing anything we might be holding in our hand, bringing our full attention to this moment, this time together. In doing that, we let go of the thoughts and ideas, and we can focus on our breathing and let that be the central idea in mind. My breath. I think only about the breath. And should my mind wander at any time, I simply go back to the breath, the easy rhythm of breathing in and out. Our breath. Feel the rhythm, your own rhythm. Listen with your own sound. I breathe in, I breathe out. I breathe in, I breathe out. I release, I let go. I release, I let go. On the in-breath, peace. Out-breath, be still. peace. Be still. As I become quiet and still, I can notice places in my body that still feel disturbed. Perhaps there's tension or a sense of anxiety. Breathe into those places and exhale to them now. I'm saying peace, peace. I think of the thoughts that I have, and I settle them down for the moment. The ideas, the things to do, the things not done. I set them aside, let them be, and now let my thoughts be of now, this moment, the quiet, the stillness, the peace, the release. Let those be the thoughts. And any place in your body that you might feel any tightness, send the breath, the quiet breath, the relaxing breath. Send the breath as you breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. You feel quiet and still. Your feelings are at ease. We bless this time of going apart and being still for a while and letting the presence of spirit in you enlighten you. Let it enrich you in these moments. Hear with your inner ear. See with your inner eye. Feel your heart open and allow the love and compassion already there to flood this place, flood your space. Let it bring a smile to your face, smile in your eyes. As you know that gratefulness, the thankfulness of being here now, being in the light of this moment, feeling, seeing, and hearing the presence of spirit right here, right now. There is no place to go, nothing to do. The quiet, the stillness, always here. Turn your thoughts to it. It's all you need. Walk now in the fullness of this truth. Every step, every moment, no place to go, nothing to do. Be in the light, walk in the light. The light. See the light all around you, lighting your path. Always there, ready. And you hear the words deep within. Walk ye in it. Feel the truth of this moment. Let it surround you. Let it energize you. Allow it to be optimistic within you. There is no end to this flow of life, ever present. Always there. Nearer than hands and feet. You take a deep breath and release the breath. You feel restored and refreshed and renewed right now. And you're ready to be open and receptive to the good news. The good news of Christ in you, your hope of glory. right now, right here. We give thanks and we are ready. We know all this in the truth of the Christ presence, the divine mind, ever revealing itself. We say yes and amen. We are now in the month of July, and the heat of summer is here. The desire to be out of doors, relax, have a good time, and do all the things that summer calls us to do. Last month, we spent time talking about the cloistered life as brought on by this great pause. And I would like to think that moving into July, we continue this idea, but at a different level. Looking at the cloistered life and how we have responded to it in our own space with our friends and family, and in the things that we have or did and can do, that we have grown in this time of fostered quiet. And now July is here, and we can think about how I bring the best of that June with me into this July and all the Julys to come. The themes of this month when it begins of freedom and independence are great themes, is what we search for and want to have and be. Patrick Henry, one of this country's founders, just weeks before the Revolutionary War started against Great Britain, in a speech he gave, he said, "Give me liberty or give me death. Give me liberty or give me death." And another one that we don't hear too much but have heard, peace, peace, but there is no peace. This last one, is it really any different from no justice, no peace, no justice, no peace? I don't really think so. The cry for freedom and independence is always with us. It starts with the natural cry for independence when we are born and we say first time to somebody in some way, no, no, We want our way. There is no parent alive or guardian who has not had to deal with the innate desire for independence from a 2-year-old. They don't call them the terrible twos for nothing. If the 2-year-old in you and me continues to be that of a thinking person, it follows the cry for independence in their heart. We will seek to express that independence and freedom in every area of our life, in our education, our careers, our jobs, finances, in our health. Sometimes it will lead us to seeking freedom and independence in the interdependence of politics and power. And some of us stay there. We commit our life and our energy and our resources in this intersection of politics and power. Sometimes for others, it may lead them to seeking spiritual independence and freedom. It becomes the cornerstone of their lives and their continuing desire to have manifested these two incredible inner desires: freedom, independence, to come into full realization. In fact, they allow that spiritual awareness, religious awareness, to inform them as to how they live and what they say and what they will do. And finally, for some of us, sometimes that inner desire for spiritual freedom becomes the road of destiny, and that person stays there. They don't leave. The desire, the feeling of it is so good to them. They have to do this for the rest of their lives. Those are the monks and the priests, the ministers. They grab hold of it. This is it. This is what I want. I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. I'm going to walk these walls and be in this place. This is where I want to be. Emily Cady, in her book Lessons in Truth, tackles this whole idea of being in bondage by using the story of the Israelites as it unfolded in Egypt under the leadership of Moses as a metaphor for saying bondage is first and foremost a belief that man holds about himself and others. That's what bondage is. Humankind sees themselves in bondage. This is a belief about themselves. This plays out in how the Israelites saw themselves in Egypt and how the Egyptians saw themselves, with the exception, we might add, some illusion, with them as the bonder and the Israelites as the bondees. Of course, there's no such word as bondees, but you understand what I'm saying. And then grew out of that this whole idea of institutionalizing the thought of I am a sinner. And I must do everything I can to right that. I am not good enough. I will never be good enough. This scenario is perfect for any person or group of people if they also will take the step of metaphysically interpreting words such as Egypt, for instance. Emily Cady says Egypt means ignorance and darkness. That's what being in Egypt is all about, metaphysically, spiritually. And the afflictions that came upon the Israelites, today we would say the issues that people have. People have issues. And there are all kinds of issues. Emily Cady sums them up in 3 words: sickness, sorrow, and poverty. That's it. All of them, you can find whatever is going on with man today, you can lump them into those 3 areas: sickness, sorrow, and poverty. So, this conception, idea, and consciousness of Egypt representing ignorance and darkness, and afflictions being the ills that we have, these are strong themes and strides towards justice for Americans of African descent in the United States. And we see it played out in other countries as well. Oh, they may have other spiritual or religious themes behind them, but the same issues. This feeling of trying to be worthy or not feeling worthy, all toward feeling independent, being free. So this brings us to Jesus. As a young man, he knows the story of his people, like we know the story of our people. He knows where they came from. He knows the deal. We know the deal. He also realizes that Judaism is not being practiced the way he felt it should be. The institutionalized form of Judaism, of what it was to be a good Jew, a religious Jew, is so far from the religious teachings, not even close. He has a lot of problems with it. And like to us, we look out and we see the institutionalized forms. In our pathway toward freedom and independence. So now, what does Jesus, and where does he fall into these 3 examples I gave of people seeking independence and freedom? Is he, or does he say to himself, or continues to seek independence and freedom as it intersects with politics and power? Certainly he knew the politics of the time, the power of the time. Or do you think he said to himself, spiritual freedom, and it informs him in his stride toward the manifestation of freedom? He will use it to inform him as to what he should do. Or do you think he decided to take the road that leads to spiritual freedom and stay there the rest of his life? We have many stories about Jesus as he demonstrated how he felt And what road he would follow to demonstrate was what was actually needed for his personal answer to give me liberty or give me death. His answer to bondage or liberty or freedom was in his words to individuals and the political base of the time. Basically, he went around saying two words: follow me. And let that me, be in italics for us right now. Follow me. It is recorded that Jesus said, follow me to 22, maybe 24 individuals, like in your face individual. We think of these words mostly said to those who we now call disciples. We really don't know how many times he said this to individuals, or perhaps heard an excuse or reason. But we do know about one. And that one said to him, oh, I want to come. I want to follow. I really do want to follow. But first, I have to go back to bury the dead. Jesus' response was, you should let the dead bury the dead. Now that's a talk in and of itself. But surely we see he didn't get into a discussion with the person. He didn't say, well, what do you mean? Or what you going to do? Or what do you have to do? Or you can meet me next week. He just said, let the dead bury the dead. And for a moment, while I was thinking about this and writing this, it makes me think about us when we share, come to Unity in Harlem. And some say, oh, maybe I will. Oh, maybe some other time. Or yes, I'm coming, but they never come. I have this to do. I have that to do. Jesus said, let it be. Just let it be. But I digress. When we go back to Emily Cady's presentation of bondage or liberty, her conclusions do not just leave us with the interpretations about living in bondage under a diseased political system, because we believe and see ourselves in bondage. She does not leave us there. What she offers is the opportunity to see God differently, the omnipresence of God in a new way. She says that somewhere along the line, man, collectively and individually, must come to himself. Come to himself. And sometimes when they finally come to themselves, well, we first have to say, what does that mean, come to themselves? You will hear the words, oh, I'm just tired. How many times have you heard and I heard in interviews, well, I'm tired, tired of being tired. What is and who is tired of being tired? Who is this himself Cady is talking about? Romans 4:11 says, as I live, says the Lord, to me every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. This is not the expression of yet another authoritarian human rule. It is the expression of God's love to us when we find our consciousness in bondage to a wrong belief system. We can no longer believe, they can no longer believe they are free and in bondage. This is the unfolding of what we can call divine order in truth. The himself, come to himself, is the divine self of the person. What are they tired of? Believing, hoping, standing back and waiting for change. I'm in bondage. They have to free me. I'm tired. I'm coming to my higher self. I've come into my higher self and made a conscious decision. I'm leaving Egypt. I am on the road out of Egypt, and I'm going to the land of freedom and independence. I'm going to freedom, independence, and liberty. That's where I'm going. I'm not going to be tired anymore. You see that tiredness is a spiritual tired, trying to hide behind the spirituality of who you really are, who I really am. So it doesn't refer to a body tired as much as a mental awareness that gets tired and wants to break out. Break out and hear the words of Jesus. He said, the kingdom of God is in you. The Father and I is one. He discovered this for himself. So he now says, follow me. That italics me. Follow me. Patrick Henry was willing to physically die than live a life of oppression under British rule. With that statement, give me levity or give me death, he put out the call, a rallying call to go to war. He with others won the war. He was voted governor of Virginia 5 times. Emily Cady offers to anyone who can hear deliverance from human consciousness that keeps us in bondage to a way that has become filled with what? Sorrow, sickness, and poverty. You can become master of your own destiny. And I would hope that in the quiet of June, July, have you burst onto the scene. I am free. I am independent. This is your continuous movement out of Egypt to liberation. And so it depends on your personal listening to the ever-present call, that every knee shall bow call. Give me liberty. If I don't have liberty, I will get death. The I, the Christ I of you, will indeed die. Spiritual death. None of us wants that. We want liberation, independence, freedom in the one and only way to truly have it, spiritual. We become new Christ creatures in everything we will do and say. Bless you all. We can have a little light music to transition to prayer requests and our level up. We can begin to think right now of those desires of our heart, those things, those people, those situations that are so dear to us, that we collectively come together now in oneness of the Spirit in God that flows through us and flows through them and any situation that is already whole and complete, that is free of disease and dis-ease, free of lack, and there's only abundance. Whatever the desire, whatever the request, this is the opportunity to see it as you want to see it and not what our eyes or ears may be showing us and telling us. For truly, those are states of bondage. And you want to see, we want to see the continuous movement away from Egypt consciousness to liberation consciousness. That the unfolding of liberation consciousness is in that me, the I of me. We hold to that truth that liberates us from the day-to-day challenge of seeing and hearing and doing otherwise. We give thanks for this space of time and one another and all those that we do not see that join in these realizations. We say yes and amen to this truth, and so it is. And now we think of our gifts, that which we would want to share. We give thanks for spirit in us as the desire to give, for we know that in giving we will receive. It is the law. As you give, so you receive. And so we give easily, comfortably, always aware that it is a continuous flow to the work that we are engaged in and are committed to, and that what we are is given to us, we give back easily, and that flow continues constantly, giving and receiving, one experience, giving and receiving. And so let us know the truth of this as we share in our love offering together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. And if you want to repeat it along with me again, join me. Divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. And so it is. Time for our announcements.
All right. First of all, we thank everyone for continuing to join us online. And we remind you that we have our weekly meditation that is available by phone. And you can see the phone number on the screen. And that will be a new one tomorrow morning, which you can play throughout the week. We also remind you of the Tuesday evening study group, and you can join us by Zoom, and you can either join us on the Zoom on the web or your phone app, or you can call in on the phone number with the ID that is also on the screen. And we remind you that every Friday we have the Circle of Prayer, also with the same Zoom ID. We also want to remind you that starting today, after the service, if you'd like to join us and just connect with other people at Unity in Harlem, you can also join us on Zoom, and you can either dial in or come in on the web app. And so you can copy the information there. We'll put it up again on the end before we finish our service.
Bob,
Yes,
can you put up again the number for the dial-ins Monday
sure.
services? Prayer,
Mm-hmm.
meditation. Thank you. And one last point. Volunteer training will begin Sunday, August 2nd. And it will be in the morning, 10:30 to 11:45. Anyone interested, you can contact me if you would like to volunteer. And if you recall, this volunteer is specifically to be trained to reach out to those who are not able to attend us on Zoom or other means on Sunday, and or the prayer opportunities. So I hope to hear from you, and it will go over the August 5 Sundays. And if you have any questions, of course, please let me know. Okay, Marie.
So it's such an inspiring message, Carol Hunt. So great. Just learning how to release what doesn't serve us and embrace the Christ within, and what's truly our own heart and the desires of our heart. And so let's sing this song. Everybody get up in your living room. Come on. I release and I let go. We're going to release everything that doesn't work and release even our ignorance about things that we don't know about. Release and I let go. Okay, come on, put your hands together. Come on. Woo. I release and I let go. I let spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Everybody say, I release. I release. Come on. I release. I release. I release that doubt. I release. I release poverty. I release and I let go. I let spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm... Okay, now everybody get up. Stand to your feet. I release. Come on. I release. I release. Come on, get up. I see you. I release. I release. I release. I release. I release and I let go. I let spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here. Come on, one more time. I release and I let go. I let spirit from my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I'd like to just give a thanks to Michael Gott for writing this marvelous song with Unity here at Unity in Harlem. Everybody, are you releasing? I hope so. All right. All right, take it away, Carol. Carol Hunt.
Perfect song, Marie, for this service and especially the message. We're ready for the peace song and the prayer protection. So, shall we together? I think the word.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. All right.
All right, peace. Peace for everybody.
Prayer protection.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Yay. Nice assurance, isn't it?
All right. Blessings to everybody and see you in a few minutes.